Folks, how you doing? How you feeling? Welcome to this very peculiar set, I should call it, of Search and Report. You'll see some differences in obviously where I'm at. You'll see some differences in the video quality. You'll see some differences on the audio quality. But I am in the process of moving right now. Hopefully I'll have everything kind of set together and like it'll look good. Hopefully by, I want to say May, but maybe late April. There's gonna be a lot of things. My upload schedule might change a lot, so please bear with me. I literally had to buy a laptop so I can record these videos for you. That's how dedicated I am to this thing. But without further ado, what I've been playing. Well, first of all, welcome to this week's episode of Search and Report. First, let's start off with what I've been playing recently. I've been playing a lot of Splatoon 2. Ever since we got an announcement that we're getting Splatoon 3 next year, I was like, this game, I tried the demo here and there, and I kind of like, I was never in love with the idea of a Splatoon, but the more I play, the more I understand the what's the word? The attractiveness to the game. It's really fun. It's really fast paced. I'm not that good. I'm getting my ass kicked so bad, but it's a fun game. And I think the art style is amazing. Nintendo, and it's amazing how quickly a Nintendo IP kind of rose to become probably the top 5 IPs for Nintendo. I mean, it's a huge thing, for such a young IP to reach the limits of Zelda and Mario and whatnot. Even Animal Crossing, that's crazy to me. But yeah, so I've been playing a lot of that. And just Animal Crossing. There's obviously the Mario celebration, 35th celebration still going on. So we're still getting some stuff from Animal Crossing. We're getting some furniture. Also talking about Mario, I recently beat Super Mario 3D World. It's fun, man. They should definitely just sold Bowser's Fury as its own thing for like $30, and I think it would have been amazing. But without further ado, I want to talk about probably the biggest news first. I tend to put the biggest news at the end, just to get people, engaged throughout the whole episode. But I think this is just too big to not talk about first, like head on. We got a Nintendo, well, not Nintendo, we got a Pokémon Presents this week. And we actually got it, what was it? Friday? Yes, we got it Friday, which was 2 days ago. And I did film a reaction to it, but I messed up the audio. And I think it's just not worth it to upload a video that sounds that bad. But we did get a Pokémon Presents celebrating the 25 years, obviously, of Pokemon. I'll have up on the screen right now a video of just us going through like the different things that they showed at this presentation. It started out pretty amazingly. I will say I was a big fan of the way they introduced this whole presentation. It looked amazing. I think the intro animations were, the video that goes through like the whole history, like the whole timeline of Pokemon was incredible, man. Like, oh my god, it just made me relive so many moments. We got little glimpses here of the first games. Obviously, we got first glimpses of Pokemon Stadium. We got first glimpses of like what do you call it? The anime and stuff like that. It was just amazing. It went through like every single product in every single game. Pokemon Pinball, man, I forgot about that game. And just like it just went throughout the history of all the medium that there was for Pokemon. It was amazing, man. It kind of made me relive a lot of these moments that I grew up with. I mean, Pokemon was the only reason why I ever had a Game Boy, to be honest. It's amazing what they did with this franchise. I honestly think that if Game Boy didn't have Pokemon, if it wasn't released when Red and Blue was released, I think Pokemon, the Game Boy, would have had a very short lifespan, honestly. Because, I mean, you think about handheld games, they basically got to think about Pokemon. It is, the biggest, what's the word? The biggest media company that there is. They're even bigger than Disney. Like, it's amazing to me. But they went throughout this whole little like compilation of all the different products that they've made out for the Pokemon franchise. It was really interesting. It was really fun. I definitely recommend you go check it out. I mean, it's like a what? It was like a 4 or 5 minute intro video, and it was really well made. It was really, really well made. It was very, very fun, very, very interesting. The animations were amazing. The transitions were beautiful. But after that whole animation, we did get we were welcomed by obviously the Pokemon president, the Pokemon Company CEO and president, Ishihara. Then he introduced further Utsunomiya, which is the COO of the Pokemon Company. And then we obviously got a little bit more news and a little more of gameplay footage of Pokemon Snap, which I will say I am so excited for this game. I mean, growing up, the N64, man, was huge in my childhood years. Excuse me. And seeing just how much love they're actually giving to this new Pokemon Snap makes me very hopeful for the future of Pokemon games. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this game is being currently developed by Bandai Namco, so not Game Freak. And you can, like, I don't want to throw shade at Game Freak, but it's pretty obvious that a lot of the things that Game Freak has been doing are less than favorable. They're a little bit less than pleasing. Animations, of course, there's been instances of them cutting corners with the animations. Obviously, with them not changing up a lot of the formula from the mainline Pokemon games. So to me, it seems like third-party developers are putting a lot more love and care into Pokemon games. I'll talk later. There's obviously, as you all know, there's some remakes coming up, which weren't necessarily made by Game Freak. I don't think they were made directly by Game Freak. I think they were developed and supervised by Game Freak, but they weren't the main developers. And you can tell, man, that third-party developers care so deeply about Pokemon because, I mean, Pokemon is so big, man. Pokemon was the biggest media franchise that there currently exists. And just seeing the graphics, seeing like just the lighting, seeing the animations of the Pokemon, and just seeing just how good this game actually is turning out to be, new Pokemon Snap, makes me hopeful, man. It makes me hopeful that Pokemon is finally seeing that, hey, maybe putting out a game every single year, or a mainline Pokemon game every single year, is probably not the best for our franchise. It's probably not the best for what we're trying to do. It's probably not the best in the long run, because you're sacrificing so much quality just to put out large amounts, big quantities of games and content out there. But I'm saying, like, the new Pokemon Snap looks amazing. There's a couple of new features that, of course, you can throw, like, I think they're called glow balls, which kind of changes up some of the different actions that some Pokemons give and create, and it looks really interesting. Also, obviously, this is a photo game. It's a photography game, but I'm really excited about the photo mode capabilities that this new game is gonna have. It looks like once the picture is taken, you can see, like, you can mess around and manipulate the image a little bit more, zoom in, zoom out, and it's looking amazing, man. I think they look like they really put their care into this game. I'm singing its praises, man. It might be the worst Pokemon Snap game ever. I mean, there's only one, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it looks amazing. It has some online features where you can share some photos. I'm really excited for that. I know people are gonna get super creative. I know people are gonna get fucking nasty, man. It's the internet, man. Anything goes. But it looks amazing. I'm looking forward to Pokemon Snap. This is gonna come out at the end of April. And hey, man, the world looks amazing. It looks like there's Pokemons from every single generation up until Gen 8. So I'm excited to see what this game actually turns out to be, and I'm going to be reviewing it. But yes, pre-orders are now available for Pokemon Snap. It comes out on April 30th of 2021, obviously, so it's coming out pretty soon. We also got a little bit I mean, at this point it's already probably too late because today's the 28th, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, there was a little bit of a Pokemon Go and also a Pokemon Sword and Shield event going on. It's already too late, bro. If you're listening to this, it's already too late. But there was a little bit of a couple of events, nothing too crazy, but whatever. And also on what was Pokemon? What's that mobile game called? Pokemon Masters DX? Is that what it's called? Yes, Pokemon Masters DX. I played it for a little while. It's okay. It's a mobile game. It's a mobile Pokemon game. It's not as good as Pokemon Go in my opinion. Um, I'm gonna take that back. They're both pretty alright. But then one of the biggest news from Friday's Pokemon Presents. Obviously, we're getting Sinnoh remakes. I'm all for it, man. There was a huge uproar on the uproar. I can't talk right now, man. There's a huge uproar. God damn, I'm just gonna keep on moving. Whatever, you know what word I'm trying to use. About the Sinnoh remakes, about the art style. Even though people have been calling for the Sinnoh remakes for what, 5 to 6 years, like even before the Switch was announced, I believe. And people are not happy about the art style. They're not happy because obviously they kind of stuck. They've stuck with the art style. They were very loyal to the original art style of the Pokemon games. It's all chibi style and it's all very cutesy and stuff. And people are hated. And like, I don't understand it, man. I like the art style. It's a Pokemon game. Like, you can't remake a handheld game for a mainline console game, without kind of. You would have to change the whole thing, I think, if you're changing the art style. And I already know people would have hated it if the Sinnoh remakes were in the Let's Go style, with bigger characters, like just in comparison in size, like bigger characters, bigger trainers and stuff. But I don't know, man. I like the art style. As I said, I love the Zelda games, and the remake for Link's Awakening is probably one of my favorite Zelda remakes because the art style adds so much to the world and it adds so much charm to it that I honestly do not mind the art style for this remake, the Sinnoh remake. It looks really cute. It looks really nice. I know I'm gonna play it. I'm a huge Pokemon fan, but at the same time, I fell off of Pokemon after Gen 3. Yes, Gen 3 is Ruby and Sapphire, correct, if I'm not mistaken. But I fell off after that for a while, and nothing kind of brought me back to Pokemon. But these couple of next announcements are definitely something that are bringing me back. Obviously, the Sinnoh remakes, besides the art style, they're coming back to the RPG style, battle system. By the way, I'm sorry about the sounds that you hear in the background. I'm currently staying with family members, and it is an apartment complex, so it is what it is. But I'm kind of glad they didn't keep the Pokemon Let's Go mechanics of capturing Pokemon. It seems like they brought back a lot more of the classic. They stay pretty true to the Pokemon gameplay mechanics, and I'm a huge fan, man. They did say that this game is these remakes are gonna be released later this year. They say late 2021. Both Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pokemon Shining Pearl will be coming out late 2021, which, from my speculation, I think if they're not released in September, I think that's when Sword and Shield was released, if I'm not mistaken. Now, going forward with this Pokemon Presents, if that wasn't enough for you, we did get a second announcement for a new game. Completely new game. This is not a remake. We got what people have been asking for ages from a Pokemon game, which is obviously an open world RPG. We got Pokemon Arceus, Pokemon Legends Arceus, which my dumbass has been saying it as Arceus. After re-watching the trailer, I'm like, oh, that's how you say it, Arceus. Okay, whatever. But this is basically like a prequel to the Sinnoh region. It explains a little bit more of the region and how it explains like the it's basically a prequel to what Pokemon is nowadays. Like, like pocket monsters. You capture them, you train them. Like this whole world that Pokemon, the Pokemon games currently live in, this all predates that. Apparently, it looks like this game is going to be more so focused on like exploration, research. You obviously battle Pokemons at this point, but a lot of it looks like it's going to be a lot of just like exploration and finding out and figuring out what certain Pokemons do, what certain Pokemons are like. It just you're researching, you're helping a professor, I think, and at this point it looks really interesting. It's open world, as we said. It is looking a little bit rough. I will say this game is being developed by Game Freak. And look, man, I'm excited. I was a big fan of Temtem when it came out because I love open world games. I like the whole idea of a Pokemon MMO RPG style open world. But I mean, before I get ahead of myself, this game has been confirmed to be a single player game, which I'm excited for. I don't care if it has a captivating story, which, I mean, let's be honest, Pokemon games don't really have that much of a captivating story. They're pretty much the same. You're a trainer, you train, you beat the gyms, and then there's a little bit of a side story, but that's pretty much it. But I mean, hopefully this game is a little bit hopefully it expands a little bit more as to what the background of Pokemon is, the Pokemon world. Of course, we see Arceus in the trailer, and if I'm not mistaken, Arceus is like the creator of everything. He's like the god, or it is like the god of everything. So I'm excited. Hopefully this is a long story. I don't want it to be another Sword and Shield where you can beat the main story in like less than 25 hours if you really like go straight, gym after gym. But I mean, I'm excited. It comes out in early 2022. I am a little bit worried. I did say that I like the art style because it looks a little bit cell shady-ish. It's not necessarily just full cell shaded, but it really did bring me back memories of Breath of the Wild. But the footage that they did show in the trailer was a little bit rough. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit rough. There was some dropped frames. It kind of the video stuttered a little bit. It looked like it was kind of struggling with the engine. This definitely looks really, really, alpha. It looks like, I mean, it says here footage used in this video includes games in development. So it is definitely it looks pretty rough. It looks like they're in the midpoint of developing, and I think they're just gonna hopefully start like polishing a few things here and there, and hopefully the edges of the characters, the edges of certain things don't look so bad, because you could see like some I don't know, some things look pretty rough in this trailer, and I'm kind of worried that they announced the game this far in advance, especially a Nintendo game. It's not necessarily something that Nintendo usually does, but hey, I'm excited for it. We'll see what there's, what more information there is on this. We haven't gotten a lot more for it, but I am excited for the remakes of the Sinnoh region, Pokemon, the Pearl and Diamond versions of the remakes. I'm excited for it. It looks fun. I love the art style. I don't care what people say. I think it's really, really nice. I've never played Pearl and Diamond, so hey, this is a great way to get back into my love of Pokemon, and we'll see. We also got a little bit of a celebration, a concert of sorts yesterday from Post Malone, which I'll say the technology behind like the concert, they used a little bit of I don't want to call it, I don't think it's VR in essence, but it did use like some motion tracking, because you can definitely tell that Post Malone's character, or whatever you want to call it, virtual body, was obviously moving and performing live. So it looked a little bit janky. So I will say that part was probably not the best. But besides that, the environments, the lighting, just the visuals in that whole concert, everything that was happening around Post Malone was amazing. And I mean, I was enthralled by the whole thing. It looked amazing, and I hope Pokemon games can at least kind of mimic that level of detailedness in future games, because it looked amazing. I was so captured. I was like, please, can I just please play this game in this world. But yeah, pretty bit of an interesting choice for them to choose Post Malone. Why would they choose Post Malone for a Pokemon presentation? I don't know, man, but my boy out here, Post Malone, was talking about having sex and like talking about relationship problems and stuff, and I'm like, bro, this is a children's game. What are you talking about? Relax, my guy. Jesus Christ. People were making fun of, like, there was Lugia flying around Post Malone, and he was talking about, like, hey, I know I said that it was amazing, but, the sex, though, or whatever. I don't know his actual lyrics. I'm not a big Post Malone fan. But, hey, man, Pokemon, man, weird-ass choice. I'm going to tell you right here, right now. A very weird choice to use as a musical performance for a game, Pokemon. What the hell, man? I mean, hey, if this means that they're gonna tackle more adult topics, hey, I'm all for a rated M Pokemon game, man. But yes, yesterday was Pokemon Day. I think their celebration is kind of reaching an end. Obviously, we're still gonna get some more updates on this, but I'm excited for both of the games. Let's see what happens. Now to our actual news topics that I wanted to cover this week. We got a trailer of sorts. I don't know if I guess you can call it a trailer. It's more like a teaser / announcement. But we got a spiritual predecessor to what I didn't. If you remember Jetset Radio, if you remember those old games that had like this really kind of cool graffiti art style and was kind of like really, hip hop influence and stuff. Hey, hopefully you find this as amusing as I did. It looks super interesting. Let me just double check this. But yes, Team Reptile games. Team Reptile, sorry. Hold on, bro. Why are you so loud? Team Reptile are kind of creating this game. It obviously looks like it definitely borrowed some stuff from Jetset Radio. It looks really, really interesting. It looks super duper fun. But yes, it looks like they're developing this Jet Set Radio inspired game. They do have up a wish list page on Steam. Well, they have a Steam page. But yeah, I will say this game looks pretty interesting. I'm really super excited to see how it turns out to be. Yeah. Yeah. We just got this was a surprise, and like people weren't expecting it. I don't think people were expecting it. It's called Bum Rush Cyberfunk. And yeah, the world looks amazing. It looks a very interesting game. It obviously I think it follows the same gameplay mechanics as Jet Set Radio. I remember the game. I didn't play much of it, but this looks legit, man. It looks amazing. I'm very, very excited for it. But yes, I am excited to look out for this game. Here's a little bit more details on the actual game. Bum Rush Cyberfunk, the stylish Jet Set Radio influenced action graffiti game from developer Team Reptile, is coming in 2022 to all relevant platforms. A new trailer for Bum Rush Cyberfunk released Wednesday shows that people with access to relevant platforms should be excited, especially if they have a fondness for Dreamcast era visuals. Team Reptile describes its new game as offering 1 second per second of highly advanced funk style. Players will create a custom cipher composed of chunky, colorful polygons, and will dance, paint, trick, face off with the cops, and stake your claim to the extrusions and cavities of a sprawling metropolis in an alternate future. As heard in today's trailer, Bum Rush Cyberfunk will feature new music from composer Hideki Naganuma, the composer behind Jet Set Radio and Jet Set Radio Future's iconic soundtracks. Bum Rush Cyberfunk was first revealed in 2020 and was originally planned for release this year. So this game did get a little bit of a delay. But hey, it looks interesting. It looks super exciting. I really do hope that Sega kind of like either put some I don't know, put some resources behind this. It looks like a very good homage to Jet Set Radio, especially with the visuals. Like it looks like it was taken out of that world. So be on the lookout for more news on that. Also, this coming week, we did get an announcement that Masahiro Sakurai is going to give us a little bit of a presentation, a little bit of a more in-depth look for the new Smash DLC characters, fighters, Pyra and Mythra. He will be giving out a presentation this Thursday, if I believe, if I'm not mistaken. As we all know, these are pretty extensive. These are very Masahiro Sakurai is he's passionate for this game, and you can definitely tell with these presentations. Here Nintendo tweeted, tune in on 3/4 at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for an in-depth look at the new Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC fighter, Pyra Mythra, with director Masahiro Sakurai. He will also reveal the fighter's release date. I think they're coming out next month in March. But yes, they also tweeted out, the presentation will be roughly 35 minutes long, and there will be no further new fighter announcements. And they're like, yo better shut up, all right? You better stop it with your nonsense. You can't be expecting the world. It's really funny now that Nintendo's like, yo, more and more you hear Nintendo like them telling people like, you gotta lower your expectations, my guy. We're in a pandemic. You gotta relax. But I am excited for these two characters. It looks like apparently after the announcement of these two characters, the sales for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 skyrocketed like insanely in Japan. I think that they literally, I think here in the States, you can't find the game anywhere. It's completely sold out everywhere. But yes, if one thing I'll say is that being featured in Super Smash Bros. Is probably the best advertising a video game franchise can do. But yes, here, My Nintendo News reports Japan, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has rolled out on Amazon Japan due to the recent Smash Bros. DLC announcement. The recent Super Smash Bros. Announcement that both Pyra and Mythra will be added to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as downloadable content in March has caused a massive spike in sales of the well-received JRPG game on Amazon Japan, with the game promptly selling out. The announcement caused many Japanese Nintendo Switch owners wanting to experience the lengthy and riveting game themselves and unravel the story within. It's pretty interesting to hear that Xenoblade Chronicles. The way that this news kind of broke out and was reported, it kind of made it sound like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 wasn't that big in Japan, which it doesn't really make sense, because it's a JRPG. You would imagine that JRPG would get a lot of support in Japan. It's a JRPG. I did see it has a huge following, at least here in the States. I see multiple accounts simping for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's amazing. I've never played the game. I'm not gonna lie, this DLC kind of makes me want to get into the game, but people tell me it's a lengthy game, and I don't know if I can afford any more time into another story or another video game, because man, there's just too much stuff going on, and I can't. I don't think I can afford any more games, man. We know that's a lie. But yes, be on the lookout this Thursday for a Mr. Sakurai Presents presentation on Pyra and Mythra. Also, for our next news item of the week, this is a little bit of a sad news that I bring. We got news that Anthem Next has been canceled. Here, Jason Shroud tweeted, a small team had been working on this new iteration of the multiplayer game since 2019, but they were informed today that they'll be moving to Dragon Age 4. EA held a review of the game's progress earlier this month, as Bloomberg previously reported. In a blog post today, BioWare's Christian Daly blamed the pandemic for the cancellation, writing that not everything we had planned as a studio before COVID-19 can be accomplished without putting undue stress on our teams. So it looks like the revision of the Anthem game is gonna get, well, it is cut. It is completely cut. It is canceled. Here, Bloomberg reported, same reporter Jason Schreier. Video game publisher EA Incorporated has decided not to move forward with the planned revision of Anthem, an online video game that was widely criticized following its launch 2 years ago. A small team at the EA-owned game developer BioWare had spent the past year and a half working on this revision, which they called Anthem Next. They had hoped to overhaul the game and get a second chance from fans. February marked the end to Anthem Next's incubation period, which meant that EA had to decide whether to move forward or abandon the project. Earlier this month, EA executives reviewed the current version of Anthem Next and decided not to proceed. It's pretty sad, man. It's pretty sad. This game really, I remember when it released in 2019. I saw how excited people were for this game. They were expecting the world to be given to them with this game. And I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of the mechanics, a lot of the visuals look very, very interesting. I think one of the main issues on Anthem was just that the game was, I think it looked incomplete, and it kind of played. I mean, there wasn't too much to do around the world. It basically was a little bit of a failed release, much so like Cyberpunk was, but at the same time, it's an EA game. Like, what can you expect? But it's sad, man. Like, Anthem had this weird following of like very. I mean, you can call them dedicated fans, but they were their biggest critics. I'm sorry, I can't talk. They were some of their biggest critics for the game, which I'm a Nintendo fan. I'm their biggest critic, so that kind of makes sense. But it looks like all the developers at least kind of still have a job. They're sticking with BioWare, and they're all going to be working on Dragon Age 4. So it's still sad news, but not fully sad news, so to speak. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, it is kind of wasted work because people were expecting this. Like, people were expecting for this game to be released. People were expecting for some more news on it. Like, it seemed like EA was at least giving it some kind of support going forward. So, hey, it's just sad. It's really sad. It's always sad when a game gets canceled, because you're talking about developers, you're talking about publishers, you're talking about a lot of people's jobs on the line, and as much as people like to hate, like, it's still somebody's paycheck, and I hope EA isn't like, I don't know, I hope EA isn't gonna get into this trend of like just canceling games left and right. Like, we'll see, man. It was a whole year of wasted time. Fans were expecting for some updates. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, people who did pre-orders for I think there was a special edition for the game. I hope they get their refunds, because damn, bro, damn, it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad, but we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, this is one of those games that has a big enough following that they kind of revive the game, but we'll see, man. And now for final news item of the week, and I find this one to be completely ridiculous, man. And this one actually annoys me. It really annoys me, because I'm a fan. Okay, I'm a fan of shooters. I'm a fan of FPSs. My first dip into FPS games was in the Xbox 360 era. One of my first FPS games was obviously, it was GoldenEye. But online gaming, I was introduced to online gaming with Modern Warfare, Call of Duty. So it really annoys me to see just how little developers for the Call of Duty games care about the common Joe, the average Joe, the people who can't afford external storage, so to speak, people who are not that much into gaming, a 500 gigabyte PS4 may no longer be able to fit Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War and Warzone. Now, I don't know about console, but I do know on PC at least, you can select what you download from for a Call of Duty game. I know you can choose whether you can download only the Warzone portion of the game, or only the multiplayer portion of the game, or only the single player portion of the game, or etc. etc. But it's a little bit annoying, man, that a game can't fit. Especially, first of all, a game that's, mind you, not the most visually appealing. It's a very, I mean, it's a good enough game. It looks all right, but it's not a 4K graphics like power beast for them to like. The textures aren't 4K. Like it's not something that merits for it to be larger than 500 gigabytes. Like, it's insane to me, man. It's just completely insane to me. It clearly says to me that Activision has no care about optimization. They don't care about providing solutions to their player base. There's been countless complaints about people, hacking into the game, about people cheating in the game, and it just doesn't seem like there's much of care from Activision's part. IGN here reports Activision has said that players with a 500 with a 500 gigabyte PlayStation 4 may need to make room if they wish to have the fully updated versions of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War and Modern Warfare Warzone present on one system. In a post on the Call of Duty blog, the franchise publisher wrote, "Those who own a standard PlayStation 4 with a default hard drive of 500 gigabytes may need to make room if they have the full versions of Modern Warfare, Warzone, and Black Ops Cold War with all modes and packs installed. Should you have both games installed and have kept up to date with updates, you may need to delete some unused game content to have a successful download and install of the latest Warzone patch." It's common knowledge that Activision's latest Call of Duty games take up swaths of storage, but it seems that they may be stretched beyond the capacity of a base PS4 as they receive more updates. It may be that without compression, external storage may become the only way to have the full Call of Duty package on one console for some players. And yeah, here you can, at least Activision is giving people the option to uninstall certain portions of the game, but it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad that it has come up to this point. It's a great game, but Activision, why can't you compress? Why can't you optimize certain things? Like, man, it's part of the job. You're trying to make. I know it takes a lot of assets. I know it takes a lot of resources to put this thing, to even like produce it, but it's part of the job, man. You're trying to make your game available to the masses, to the lowest common denominator, from people who have base stuff like the PS4. People can't afford PS5s nowadays. We're in a pandemic. Also, it's not very easy to get a next-gen console, so most of your player base is going to be on the console. It's going to be on a console. They're going to be on Xboxes. They're going to be on PS4s. Not everybody has a PC game, a gaming PC. It's preposterous to me that Activision is just like not putting any care into this whole fiasco. But yeah, if you own a base PS4 Pro, which only has a 500 gigabytes of space, all I can say is for you is to invest in a external hard drive. You can find some cheap ones, but if not, you're just gonna have to keep on uninstalling and installing games till eternity, or at least till 2 or 3 years, till you can afford a PS5. And even then, man, PS5s don't even have that much storage. It's amazing. It's crazy to me, man. But I'm sorry, it's wild to me. I'm sorry. I need to stop using the word crazy. Okay, no. First of all, for our final news item of the week, I'm gonna give you a really quick rundown of the state of play that we just got this week. It was pretty short in my opinion, but we did get a little bit more of a look into what is Crash 4. We got some updates here and there from what is it called? We got a little bit more of an introduction to Returnal, a little bit more information on that. We got a Knockout City, which we already saw in the Nintendo Direct. We got a look into Sifu, which I will say I'm very interested about this game. It looks very, very interesting. It's a samurai game. It looks like it's set in a modern, it's kind of like samurai slash kung fu, because there's a lot of hand to hand combat. It looks very interesting. Kind of reminds me of like a combination of like Samurai Jack mixed with like I don't know, like a little bit of a Sekiro type of game of art style. It looks very interesting. It's coming out, I believe, this year. We'll wait to hear more. This is one of the games that I'm definitely gonna get for the PS5. It looks very, very interesting. As we all know, the PS5 is a little bit dry right now. We also got a look into Solar Ash, which is also a very interesting looking game. It looks like an open world type deal. It looks a little bit mirror edge-ish. There's a lot of platforming on the game. I will say it looks like the gameplay looks amazing. The art style is like whatever. It reminds me of No Man's Sky, but it looks very interesting. It looks very fast-paced platforming. So I like platforming. I like combat like this, third person combat. So hey, that's another game I'm definitely gonna check out. Damn. We got an update onto the next Five Nights at Freddy game. Don't much care for Five Nights at Freddy. We got Oddworld. What was this game called? Oddworld Soulstorm. Oddworld Soulstorm, which is a as you all know, Oddworld has been a PlayStation staple for a while. This is a 2D platformer of some sorts. If you're a longtime PlayStation fan, I know you're gonna check out that game. We got Kina. This game I'm very excited for. It looks like it's an open world action adventure game. I'm super excited for it. It looks beautiful. I'm not too sure if this is actual in-game graphics from the engine or if this is CGI. Some of the cutscenes look amazing. Some of the gameplay footage looks very, very nice. I will say it looks very, very interesting. This game. It kind of reminds me of like Horizon Zero Dawn with the way you dodge a little bit. It also kind of reminds me a little bit of I don't want to say like, I don't know. It looks like it's very exploration heavy, and it brings me some vibes of like Breath of the Wild and stuff. I know I always compare everything to Breath of the Wild, but it is what it is. Okay, Breath of the Wild was that iconic. But it looks really interesting. This is one of the games that I'm most excited for my PS5, because I know this is gonna look beautiful and crispy as hell. I just hope the combat is good. I feel combat is always a hit or miss with open world games. But yes, very Horizon Zero Dawn-ish. I'm excited. The story looks interesting. Comes out this year. It comes out on August 24th. So it's pretty soon, man, if you think about it. It's really, really soon. Pre-orders for it are available now, but as we just saw with Anthem, pre-orders are never the best thing. So then we also got a look into Deathloop, which it looks like a very interesting format, a very interesting design choice as far as the gameplay goes for a game. It still looks interesting. I don't know if I'll check it out. I'll probably first look at the reviews. But hey, if you're into this kind of stealthy-ish first-party shooter type games, this definitely looks like a game for you. This game is obviously being developed by Bethesda, so take it with a grain of salt. Bethesda games always have some issues, but we'll see. And also probably one of the biggest announcements. Well, I think it was the biggest announcement because they left it out for the very, very end. We got a Final Fantasy VII update for the PS5. I will say the 60 FPS, the upgraded graphics, it looks like they did add a lot to the game, but at the same time, man, to me, sometimes these graphical upgrades look very much the same to me. If it's not very noticeable, I really don't care. Like, if the gameplay is pretty much the same, who cares? FPS does matter a little bit more, but hey, it is a very, very nice looking game. We also got some DLC announced. Also, if you own a PS4 copy of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, this upgrade to the PS5 is going to be completely free, which is amazing. Hey, Nintendo, if you're watching this video, first of all, why are you watching this video? I'm sorry, my quality isn't the best, but whatever. But yo, you can learn a thing or two from Square Enix and other developers. We also got the Yuffie DLC. I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy fan, especially I don't know much about Final Fantasy VII. I still have to beat the original game. I beat the remake, but I don't know much about the original game. But apparently Yuffie was kind of a big thing, and I think Yuffie, it explains the story between when Cloud is out with Aerith, kind of somewhere else in the world. So it's kind of like a side story to Final Fantasy VII. And I will say it looks amazing. It looks pretty cool. I mean, Yuffie looks like she was a cult favorite of the franchise. People were going crazy from the reactions. They're like, "Oh my god, we're getting Yuffie!" But shout out to Square Enix for adding this DLC, for kind of really giving this remake its deserved love. I'll link up here my review for Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's a great game, man. It's a great game that changes the quality of life. Changes that they added to the remake are definitely something noteworthy. The amount of love they give into this game is amazing to me. And yeah, if you're a Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm sure you're going to be happy about the Yuffie DLC. And yeah, that was pretty much it. We also did get a huge announcement in the form of mobile gaming. It looks like Final Fantasy VII, all of the games that were like reserved or like only exclusive to like the PSP, the Vita, and stuff like that, such as I think it was Crisis Core and all the Final Fantasy VII spin-off games, are coming to iOS and Android, which is an interesting choice. If it's on mobile, can we get them for Switch, please? I'm just saying. But yes, we're getting Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which compiles the entire Final Fantasy VII timeline into a single mobile game. This is coming in 2022 for iOS and Android. It's amazing, man. What people can do with mobiles, with phones nowadays. The upgrades are very, very noticeable if you've played the original Final Fantasy VII. They kind of remade the art style. They made everything a little bit more updated, more modernized, and hey, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It looks very nice. It looks very cool. I'm definitely gonna check it out, but I don't know if I want to play on my phone. Like, why can't we get this on the Switch? Come on now. Can we please get this for the Switch? But here The Verge tweets. Here The Verge reports Square Enix announced 2 mobile games in the Final Fantasy VII universe today. One is a battle royale game aiming for a 2021 release, and the other is a Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, a compilation of all the games and stories set in the Final Fantasy VII universe, which includes Final Fantasy VII, Advent Children, Before Crisis, Crisis Core, and Dirge of Cerberus. The latter is slated to launch sometime in 2022 on Android and iOS. According to a press release, Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis is a chapter-structured single-player experience that covers the entire timeline and one of the most popular installments in Square Enix's RPG franchise. The compilation will feature all the events from each game in addition to new story elements focusing on the origins of Soldier. The director, Tetsuya Nomura, strongly hints you'll meet a younger Sephiroth. He says it goes without saying that you will get to see the early days of a certain legendary hero when he was younger. He also says the game will be released in monthly installments and will have a materia combat system more like the original game. The description for the trailer on YouTube notes it is another possibility for a remake, and the visuals will greatly improve from the original version of the Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation. It looks amazing. I'm excited for this. Honestly, the more Final Fantasy VII stuff we get, the better. I think it's one of the best Final Fantasies ever. Like, I mean, it's a cult classic. But hey, man, please bring it over. Why don't you bring it over to the Switch? Why not? Like, come on now, come on now. Just bring it over, man. Please bring it over to Switch. We need this on the Switch. Honestly, I don't want to play on my phone. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to play from my phone. But if you're a Final Fantasy VII fan, yo, you're getting milked, bro. I don't know what to tell you. You're getting milked right now. They keep re-releasing this game, but hey, I'm excited, man. I'm a newfound Final Fantasy VII fan, and I love it. I'm all for it. I can't wait to play the DLC for Yuffie. I'll say that. But with that, folks, I've been True Fernie. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you're listening to this on the audio podcast version, please make sure to follow the podcast on Spotify. Please make sure to rate it on all the other platforms that we're currently featured on. I believe we're on Google Podcast currently, but you can find us on Spotify by searching for Search and Report. Our little logo is a Game Boy with the word Search and Report underneath it. I can assure you that we are the only podcast called Search and Report that reports gaming news. Links to my socials are down below. Please make sure to follow me on Twitter, where I keep everybody up to date on what's going on with my life. I'm no one, but at the same time, if you're a fan of my content, that's where I can explain, or that, just come over and hang out with me, man. Just talk with me. I don't care. Fuck it. I love Twitter. That's where I just bullshit all day. Please make sure to follow me on Twitch, where I do try and stream regularly. As I said, I currently have a mobile setup, which isn't the best, which isn't the most favorable setup, but it works for me. I streamed last night and it worked just fine. Also, please make sure to join our Discord, where we talk gaming news, where we talk anime, where we talk movies, we talk anything and everything that might interest you. With that, folks, please take care of each other, but most importantly, take care of yourself. And I promise, the quality of these videos, the quality of everything is going to look a lot better come around late April. So please bear with me. Peace.